in that animated cartoon was the Skrulls, and seeing them on screen made my little fanboy heart just so happy, because like those are just some. Now I wish that they could have been introduced with Fantastic Four. Assalamu alaikum, it'll be okay, but seeing them and having them established, so hopefully we can have a bad Skrull, spoiler.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, but I think that was for me. I was
really happy with. I was very happy with the movie, and there's a lot of mixed reviews going on, and Twitter kind of blew up right when it came out and was like somewhat trashing the movie. Yeah, and so I kind of went in with all of that, and a lot of it the movie made up for. Like I was like, I don't know why the fuck people are saying this shit, because I will say this from the very beginning, it is one of my favorite MCU movies that has come out at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think it's important to know, at least in the conversation, that I think a lot of that hate that it got initially was sort of... It was a weird back and forth on Twitter, because you had a lot of people that worked on the production of the film that were saying that the reason people didn't like it, and this is just objective, I'm not putting my opinion in here, they were saying the reason that people didn't like it was because it was a film about a woman. And a lot of what the people on Twitter were saying were like, well, no, not really. We just didn't really like it at all. Yeah. And that, to me, that was such an interesting thing to read prior to going into the movie, because I saw it like 3 or 4 days after it came out. Right. And seeing those interactions, what they were... Because it seemed like... What I'm trying to say is, ultimately, it seemed like the people that were on the side of production were right. Yeah. The things that they were claiming were not good in the film. They were just wrong. Yeah. Unless that's their opinion and that's their taste. But it seemed like a lot of just nerdy guys were like, well, I don't want to go see a movie about a woman who can kill Thanos.
Yeah, I did see a lot of talk online about like, oh, this was just a movie empowering women. And I did not feel like that at all. Like, I feel like it was just a superhero movie that was bringing in like this very important character into the story that we're about to see like come to fruition. Yeah.
I think the only thing that makes me nervous for Endgame is it seemed like they built such a brick house with her and her powers. You know what I mean? Like she's great. She's going to kick ass. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. But to me, after seeing Captain Marvel, I'm like, she could kick Thanos' ass in no time. So how is the runtime 3 hours long? Well, like, why don't we just send her in and just wrap it up in like a solid 15? Yeah. Obviously, that's a joke.
Did you read the comics? Have you read any like Captain Marvel?
I haven't. I won't lie about that.
That's one of the ones that like I never really read her stuff. I read up on her once. We got more into this and we heard that it was happening and stuff. But like that is how it is in the comics. Is like she is one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, I think the thing that the thing that Thanos has, he still has the Infinity Gauntlet.
Well, see, that's where we're going to bridge right into that sweet in-game. I'm going to throw a slight spoiler warning on this, because this is going to come out before in-game. This is our speculation.
This is just theories, though.
These are just theories, but on the off chance that we might hit something correct, I don't want to spoil anyone's... You know what I'm saying? What if we're right? I've done a lot of reading about it.
Yeah, me too. And I will say this before we jump into that, because I know that you had some gripes about Captain Marvel.
You're gonna have to remind me, because I've been thinking a lot about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. What did I say initially?
I know that
because I remember saying something.
You and a lot of people were not crazy about Brie Larson.
That is true.
Tell me why.
It started as a bit.
Okay, well, you've already lost me.
Yeah. No, and I should lose you, but I will explain. Envy Adams, when she played Envy Adams in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World,
it was perfect.
She was so mean, and so every time I see Brie Larson, or I've seen Brie Larson since then in anything, I'm just like, you were so mean to Michael Cera, and he's such a gem.
But every other role she plays is just, I think, even in real life, is just the sweetest of persons.
Yeah, no, I know it's a stupid bit, but no. I did think going into it. I don't know why. Well, first off, Scott Pilgrim's so important to me. Let's make that
very fair,
clear. And it's such a stupid reason, but there's some times where, you associate, like Daniel Radcliffe, just throwing him out.
He is always just Harry Potter,
and that sucks for him.
Yeah,
and so I'm admitting to being part of the problem in this very tiny realm. When I went in to see Captain Marvel, I didn't think about Scott Pilgrim once.
Yeah,
to be totally honest, but going into it, I was nervous about my experience watching the film, just because I do have that association.
Right.
It's a joke mostly, but I think it can hold some ground. Like, there are people that are I'm trying to the names are escaping me right now, or examples are escaping me. But you have actors in horror films. Oh yeah, Lupita. In Us, there was I watched an interview with her recently where she scared someone in the bathroom at the screening. She just walked out of the stall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that association with an actress or an actor, where going into it, I was kind of nervous it was Brie Larson. And that's
it. Do you think she did well?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have, like, that was a big complaint that I heard from a lot of people is that she was not great, and I think the big thing that I, like, left with was, like, sure, because a lot of this was not comic book Captain Marvel.
No,
they changed a lot, which makes sense because the comic book origin is hard as fuck to film.
Tell me, I don't know
it's
it.
It's hard to set. So, you've got the original Captain Marvel,
yeah,
and they fall in love.
Okay,
and then when Marvel dies, he passes the powers.
Interesting.
To her.
Okay.
That's very hard to do. If I fuck that up, forgive me. I've only read about Captain Marvel. I have not read Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
But I think, especially with the way that the MCU has gone, like, they fit it in very well, and her character fits perfectly, I think.
Yeah, that's the only thing, the only hesitation going into Endgame is the change up with Captain Marvel. And here's why I say that. When I think the movie was great, I would have loved to have seen it after Age of Ultron. Like, soon after Age of Ultron. Oh
yeah, I think it was a bad time. It was bad timing to bring this movie in. One, because at this point in comic book and superhero movies, we don't want to see origin stories.
Yeah.
If anybody really needs to know, like, how this hero came about, like, you can find it.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that. We want to see them already there kicking ass. You know?
And that's, for me, I just thought that and that's my only, because even her as a character is awesome.
Yeah.
But I think, imagine if they threw in Captain Marvel, even same movie, same exact movie, nothing different about the movie at all, but had released it, let's say, right before, or right after Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Not Ant-Man and the Wasp. Right after Ant-Man, and then it leads into Thor Ragnarok, and then Infinity War. And so this whole time we're wondering, and it adds some, where is she?
Yeah.
And then at the end of Infinity War, for him to pull out the page, and we're like, oh, we saw that in the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would have made it a little more, because it feels like we've been introduced to this character, and then we have the culmination of all these films, and she's just a brand new addition, and it's kind of, but I mean, at the same time, who gives a shit? Yeah. She's badass as hell, and it's going to be super fun to watch her fight against everybody. It just, from a narrative sense, you can't really smack on Marvel much,
right?
But that's the only tweak I would have made. Same movie, nothing different about the movie at all. Just have it come out.
Yeah, I think
2 years ago.
The real big thing about it coming out now is, like, it was really nice because most of that movie was, like, Easter eggs from, years ago.
Yeah.
Which was super fun to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ronan kind of sucked.
Yeah. I liked seeing him again.
It was cool to see him, but I was like, if he was not in the movie, it wouldn't have mattered.
No.
You wouldn't have been like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I do like Lee Pace, though.
Yeah.
He's cool. But here we're going to hit some in-game theories. Before we do that, I think we should ask some questions.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some questions.
You want me to answer?
I think you should answer.
Okay.
There's one question that I have an answer to.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Question 1. What's the deal with Hulk?
Well, that's in my theories.
Is
that's
it okay? So we let's not hit it then.
Okay.
I don't really have anything. I was just curious what you do.
We have not. The only time for Endgame that we have seen anything about Bruce Banner or Hulk, he is in the poster. That's it. That's all we've seen.
Well, the Hulk? Or
well, I mean, like
Bruce Banner.
Yeah, he's not even in. He hasn't been in the trailers or anything.
Yeah, he has.
When? I'm talking not in game time. He's there. We've seen him in like flashbacks from like previous movies and stuff, but I'm pretty sure we have not seen.
In the first trailer, he's definitely in it.
When?
Because it's when Ant-Man is outside.
And he's you're right.
But I mean, that's
right,
it. It's still not much. I think we're getting Professor Hulk.
That's what I think.
Okay, that's what you're going to say. Okay, cool.
But we can talk about it.
Yeah. What color shade of purple is Thanos' cock?
Okay. I'm going to say this.
Uh-huh.
I've seen a lot of penises in my life.
Tell me about it.
And oftentimes...
How many penises have you seen?
A number of them. Probably more than 2 hands of... Like, I would need more hands to count.
How many more hands?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of penises in my life.
Yes.
And they are often darker shades than the rest of the person's body.
You think he's got a dark...
I think it's a deep violet. We'll never know.
I hope we find out in Endgame, honestly. I hope we find out. This, because here's the deal. Thanos is a total thirst trap, if you ask me. Just type in Thanos thirst... Don't type in Thanos thirst trap. Do it if you want. You're an adult.
You
I don't know.
A big purple ass.
Just a huge purple... No, there's this meme of Thanos just bent over.
Busting
kind of
it
like,
wide open.
Yeah, and it's just his butt. And I thought it was hysterical. I wanted to find a way to work that in. Another serious question. Is Homecoming in an alternate reality? I know that's not necessarily an in-game question, but I've been thinking about it.
Homecoming or Far From Home?
Sorry. I wrote Homecoming. I meant Far From Home.
It's tough to even, like, really theorize, you know?
Well, here's the deal. Nick Fury is in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Fury and Spider-Man
is gone. They're both gone.
Yes.
I think because I know that is the big question of Endgame. How do people get back? Mm-hmm. Because we know at least that a couple characters are coming back.
Black Panther has a sequel slated already.
Doctor Strange has one.
Yeah.
We've already seen footage of Spider-Man and Nick Fury being back.
I do have another theory. I asked this question on purpose. I have a theory for what it is.
Okay.
So, at the beginning of Infinity War, Spider-Man and all of his crew are on a bus. Mm-hmm. And the bus is...
They're going somewhere. They're going on a field trip.
They're either going on a field trip or they're coming back from a field trip. I personally think there's a tiny, tiny chance that it's just right leading up to the events of Infinity War. I think that timeline would be wonky for Marvel to do, but it's still fun. Like, I'd have a good time.
You think that Far From Home is before?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you this.
Okay.
The Sony, like, high up Sony has already said Far From Home happens, it starts minutes after Endgame.
So they're on their way to England.
Well, we don't know.
I guarantee you that's what it is.
So let's
That's crazy.
Let's just jump into it. Here's the big question.
Okay.
Is it time travel? Like, how are we getting people back? Because it's been theorized that they're going back to get all the stones throughout time.
Oh, damn it, you wrote down my theory, too.
We've seen set pictures at the Battle of New York.
Yep.
With, like, Ant-Man there. And, is it quantum realm shit? You know, we don't really know how that works.
Yeah, we don't. It has not, even in Ant-Man and the Wasp, it hasn't really been established, the time travel aspect.
Is it the multiverse?
I think that we will see some fragment